Welcome everybody, I am Alexander Linz, head of content of WatchAdvisor.com, and with me is Marc Hayek. Hello Marc.
Hi Alexander, it's a pleasure to be here.
Pleasure for me. Before we start our little presentation of the Blancpain major novelties, I just want to explain, because we are so late this time with the novelties, we are in the month of May, and you know all that family Hayek decided no longer to be in Baselworld. Was a good decision for Swatch Group, because the experience we had the last days that you offered us, Marc, was amazing. We were able to see all the manufacturers. We had personal contact with everyone. It was really amazing. Great. Thank you for the organization.
Really pleasure
at this point.
That you made it and that you're all here.
Yeah, we are. Right. We are. Marc, so it is about 50 fathoms, of course, but there's a little surprise also, because it's not water, it's air in this time. And there's another thing, those who are watching my videos for the presentations, we had a lot of watches that were related with the year 1969. We had the Glashütte Original, the Diver, we had the Moon Watch, because it's the 50th anniversary of the lunar landing. And now Blancpain was the only brand so far that made it 1 year earlier. It's 68.
Yes, and I actually up to now didn't look at it like this, because for us it's one of the late pieces actually.
Yeah, it's
so, because what we have here, and that's actually the original piece from 1968. That's the Barakuda. Barakuda was the importer and the distributor in Germany to the German army for dive equipment. It was dive brand, and this was one of the models that went to the German army. And the German army was one of the last armies that chose the 50 fathom as dive equipment, with the French starting. So that's why for us 68 is late.
Yeah.
And we decided to do from this piece a limited series re-edition of the Barakuda.
I will show it into the camera right here. We will zoom in, but we will have anyhow close shots afterwards. So a re-edition of the watch from 1968.
Yes. So you find a lot of elements that are from the original, and as well, we have this size case. This case is only reserved for limited series. We did 2003 50 fathom, that was limited series on this base, this size of the case, and the mil spec, one BOC, and this piece. So it's something that is very exclusive, very rare, and that has a very strong background. You see the original piece. Mm-hmm. We choose to change the design of the bezel, because there were different versions of bezel. There was one without indication besides the 12 o'clock, and one with all the minute indication. So we took the kind of in the middle.
Okay.
What is the 50 fathom? The most typical bezel of the 50 fathom.
Yeah. No, as we know it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Correct. It says minute dots, the 15, the 30, and the 45. There are no minute dots here.
Yes,
but instead
only the 15.
Only the first 15, as you should have it on a diver's watch. If it's a certified diver, they indicate you the first 15 minutes and that important dot, and then you have 15, 30. Yeah, I see. Very nice, by the way.
Thank you.
This color. I like this vintage supernova look. You know, this super luminova look. This brown.
As I said, we had years and years actually to get colors that got warmer, nicer again. Yeah. Because it was always this cold green, and we can't use for a long time radium. No. What is good with the radioactive
this is still noticed. T smaller than 25. It's the tritium marker that all these watches had at the time.
Exactly.
And if you put a radioactive counter on it, it will I think it will.
Probably will be. But Blancpain was one of the first, very, very early. That's why we had also the no radiation sign on the version, because it switched very early to away from running with high radiation, and definitely today not anymore.
Since the watch was delivered to the German army, did you do by coincidence any research? Are there any watches still in use there, or do they still have some on stock or somewhere?
How to find the stock information? In use, actually, as obligatory use as instrument, they got replaced. All the diving watches, I would guess, early 80s with these part dive computers. Now, is there still some using? But from the active combat divers from this time, I don't think they're active anymore.
Yeah, but so, probably on a person.
I think they probably still haven't because they're kind of quite hard to get. So
and I assume this is why I asked you when this watch is now on the markets that in the next auctions all of a sudden we will see some of the old Barakudas coming up.
I hope some show up. I'm also interested to get another one because that's always the fight. Is it for me and my collection or is it for Blancpain and the museum? Blancpain has priority. But that's why I'm always interested to have a second nice one.
Yeah. And once again, that fabulous tropic strap that I really like because it's so much plastic, the original one. It feels like plastic, but it was the strap that was on very many watches.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Recently, Longines launched one, the Skin Diver with such a strap. We have it on the Glashütte Original. Even in the German Democratic Republic, they used it.
Yes.
Written tropic on it. It was nice. When you touch it, but the replica, so let's say the versions today, these are really nice. This is what it should be. That's really some nice rubber. It's antibacterial treated, so it's really something different.
And the quality is different.
Yeah, of course.
But it should have the same look and feel because we tried out our straps, the classic 50 Fathom on it, and it just doesn't look right.
No, what should be on it?
Yes.
Only those original ones. Maybe it's because they are drying out. They feel like
but plastic. There was more plastic. That technology progressed a little bit in a good way here.
I think so. Mark, we stay with the combat divers. And this is a piece I just discovered also some couple of minutes ago. Please be so kind to present.
Yeah, we could recreate a personal contact with the guys from the French combat divers that were Bob Malaby's group that he founded and that were the fathers of the 50 Fathom, the first army to use it. We created, we have the contact again and created a piece with a lot of their input, this time not on the instrument side, so this is their official logo and was normally quite exclusive and reserved. We got the right to use this on a piece, remembering our close links that we have historically. And we choose a dial, actually a lot of input from their side. It's not going to be something like the replica or input. It's what it was the readability, what was the preferred dial, and this comes actually hands and dial from a model that was brought out in 1955. So not of the first one they got, but of a later version, because they felt a dial they liked even better than the first version, better readability, and you see a little 7 because I was wondering. Put on and something symbolic, but not just a logo or something written or a replica. And the 7 came because army divers, they are all of them exclusively diving on rebreathers. And a closed rebreather, you have one bottle of pure oxygen and one bottle of diluent, normally air or trimix, airgen. And when you dive shallower than 7 meters, or at the end of the dive, you switch the mode and you breathe 100% pure oxygen. What is fantastic is energy helps you decompress much quicker. But the problem is that pure oxygen gets toxic through lower than 7 meters. Actually, it's a partial pressure of oxygen, so it's not 7 meters on a mountain lake, but on sea level 7 meters of depth. And the problem is you don't get a narcosis or something, you just lose conscience.
Okay.
And normally muscles start blocking, and the first normally face muscles. So you lose your breathing.
This is the reminder on the dial to say 7 meters is your limit.
Yeah, and that's something that has a symbolic meaning for anybody that, any army diver definitely, and everybody that's diving rebreathers. When you have a link with 7, it's just something, because it's one of the mistakes that you have no right to do it once and learn from it.
Yeah.
it happens one time and you're gone.
Yeah.
So that is something very symbolic, and that was really an input from them.
And the rebreather has the rebreather also has the advantage that are bubbles.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
you don't see for the army very.
For me, it was a very important day for the photos because I can get a bit closer to the fish. For the army, having the bubbles up while you try to put your bomb on the boat, I think normally you get the bomb on the head first. So for them, it's vital.
It's vital. Very nice. So okay. And les nageurs de combat, is this the name? Les nageurs de combat, the time being Bob Maloubier.
Excellent.
I had the pleasure to meet him once, even twice. That guy who was inspiring Blancpain in the 50s to create the 50 Fathoms.
Absolutely.
And the legendary watch that is really an iconic watch meanwhile.
Yes.
Yeah, one of the iconic diving watches. And we have to tell another story. But now we are getting out of the water, accelerating, and we're flying up into the sky.
Exactly. I'm sorry, I have to take off no choice one, but that's something very, very rare. Probably one of the rarest Blancpains. And I have one. I'm very lucky for over 20 years, and we're searching desperately for a second in a shape like this. It's very, very, very rare. Because the Air Command was actually a demand from Tornek. Tornek was the contact and the distributor in the US to the US Army that got the 50 Fathom to the US Army. And he asked for a pilot's watch to propose it to the US Army. So there were, I think, 12 pieces done and delivered to him to propose them to the Army. The US Army did not choose it as the pilot's watch, but it was sold in US bases in Germany for a short time, and it was chosen by the Colombian Army as the official watch, as the pilot's watch. But I have a picture of it, and it exists, but I don't find one. So
was this a watch that was in the regular collection of Blancpain at the time being?
This was This was a really one
military,
one piece only distributed to military.
Okay, but more than 12 pieces in total.
More 12 pieces. I think 20 to 30 pieces to the Colombians around this, and maybe overall 200-300 pieces. Okay. So it's very, very, very rare. It was never in jewelry stores or something officially commercialized. So this kept the most spirit of the instrument. And not a commercial watch, and it's something that I love for a long time. So it's not Blancpain goes now and develops a whole family of pilot watches, but it's something important in our history, and something personally I think it's just beautiful and
it is
very emblematic piece. So I said we have to bring it to the 21st century. So we did a limited series of 500 pieces.
Shot into the camera.
And we wanted to keep a lot of the spirit of the original piece, but
turning around and
really trying to get all the advantages today naturally of technology. So you have sapphire glass. First time actually we do also on the case bottom and box glass. Really to get a slimmer. It's the beauty of it in the slimmer case, because today you have automatic movement. This is the base of this. It's a variation of our 385 chronograph movement, the 5 Hertz vertical clutch column wheel chronograph that we brought out 3 years ago. So this development on this base with some changes, no small seconds or different bridges. But really movement.
So 1/10 of a second displayed on the dial.
Absolutely.
36,000 alternations, 5 Hertz. Very nice. Very nice. Let me see yours and comparing it. It is almost a watch. You kept the style.
But you realize the shape of the box glass on the outlet of the bakelite of the original piece. You have much rounder shape, and on this one the angle is steeper and it's flatter, so you don't have such much
distortion
rounding, because distortion of sapphire is so much bigger that you don't have the readability anymore. And for a pilot's watch, this segment on the dial is vital. It's very important. On a diving watch you don't need this segment on the dial. You need it on the bezel. So here we could have a different angle. But that's the thing that we had to change compared to the original.
And you could have dared to make it with a bakelite glass.
Yeah.
Some brands do, and they offer a second one in the box. Then a certain while you get the client back into your boutiques because he has to change the glass, and you can say, "Oh, good that you're back. We have some new models meanwhile, and this is our newest watch, and we can sell." I don't know.
No, but for me, I really want to keep the spirit alive of the watch. These watches were instruments. If it's the 50 Fathom or the Air Command, so the main focus on them was functionality. Mm-hmm. It was not seen as a watch to say, oh, it's beautiful as that. It's an instrument and functionality. This was a dive computer. That's not a watch. So as a pilot's watch, that's why I say today, if you think about that and you say, okay, I want the quality, reliability, putting then without a reason, it's different if you have a pressure. Going to the moon, it has a reason for a flex, that's a different story. When we look at an Omega. But if it's just for the look, I feel I kind of lose the spirit because it's not a replica. I mean, if we would take an original movement to a replica,
then of course
100%.
It's a reinterpretation
with the same spirit. And the spirit
as you said in the beginning in the 21st century.
Yes.
Yeah. And then it's rolled down.
Sapphire.
I fully understand.
If one day we do a replica with original movements, that we are not about to, but if it would have a buckle.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. Storytelling, guys, what do you say? It's not only buying watches, it's storytelling and some cool stories. And I think some of you might have not known that Blancpain was also manufacturing or offering watches for the Air Force. It's an interesting story.
Something not very well known.
No, but it's emotionalizing those products, and this is what we need. It is fantastic. It's anachronistic anyway. Nobody needs a mechanical wristwatch.
Absolutely.
But there's nothing else so fascinating than a mechanical wristwatch. And if you have a lot of stories in it, it's gorgeous.
Absolutely.
Because imagine if you have such a watch, someone asks, what is this? Why do you have a rubber strap and always that strange look? You can tell a story, but not only one, you can tell stories and stories.
Absolutely.
And if you have a smartwatch on your wrist, you can tell any story at all. The only thing you can say, the battery is still active.
Yes.
But it's the only story. Wow, very nice. Just back to the limitations, because you said the
500 pieces on the Barakuda.
Okay, 500 pieces. It's numbered 500 pieces.
Yes.
Okay.
This is prototype number.
Yeah, but it will be numbered. It's not
number 1 of 500.
Okay. Not that silly thing 1 out of. I hate this.
No, 1.
Okay, good.
From 500, 1/500.
And the chrono.
Also 500.
Yeah.
For the Air Command. Also naturally numbered.
Yeah.
1 of 2 of 500.
Very good.
And
the rotor design is so gorgeous. Yeah. I think people will tend to wear the watch the other way around. See the watch take off of their wrist with the rotor design. Very nice. Wow, Marc Hayek. What a pleasure to have him with us.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much. And what can I say? I'm really amazed. Guys, then let's say goodbye. Do you have anything? Do you want to say anything?
Just thank you for all, and I hope you enjoy the watches and the stories and the emotions.
Yeah, they are there. So, thank you very much. My final word is coming. If you like what we are doing, guys, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to like our videos. And if you very much like what we are doing, please tell everyone else that we're doing those nice videos. Marc Hayek is with us, for instance. And if you have any comments, questions to make, of course, use the comment section just here underneath. And I'm more than happy, as always, to answer your questions. Bye, guys. Thank you, Marc, and
thank you.
See you very soon.
Bye.